Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to my house. Thaddeus Miller, Director of Beverage, coming at you live from what I guess we're going to call Wine Corner. You'll see I've got 10 glasses in front of me, and we wanted to see if my wife could correctly identify what glass was appropriate for what beverage. So I've written in my chicken scratch different names of wines and beverages, and my wife is going to come, and we're going to give her about a minute to put the cards in front of the glasses, and then I'll come back and we'll walk through what each glass really is and why it makes sense for the drink. This timer starts now.
Syrah. Oh, jeez.
Feel free to skip to ones that you feel more comfortable with.
Savignon Blanc. Whiskey. It's one of those. Burgundy, it's going to be, I think, like a big glass. This is a Collins glass. Cava, that's champagne. I know what that is. Port. An old, oh jeez. That's an old fashioned. Well, what would a whiskey be in? Bordeaux. And which? Okay, champagne, Cava. Is there an extra?
No, you're missing one in that.
This one?
There's that one, yep.
Okay, wait. Alright, stop.
She got the Syrah GSM correct. Right? Champagne. She got correct. Right? Killing it. This is, in fact, a very large Collins glass. Outstanding. Burgundy. She got Burgundy correct, sorry. Burgundy, that's correct. Red or white Burgundy. Perfect. Old-fashioned as well. Perfect. And then we kind of got into a little bit of a hot mess situation as we got beyond that. Alright, so I think Krista did really, really well. I mean, I was really shocked that she got Syrah correctly. So many years hanging out with a nerd like me. But let's talk through why each glass is what it is. And I think I have yet to replace this correctly, so forgive me. Alright. So at the very end, we've got Bordeaux. Big base to it, lots of high walls that go straight up, not much focusing. Bordeaux grapes, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Malbec, can all be a little higher in alcohol. So we want straight walls so the alcohol can come off so we can really get into all the great, nerds would say phenolics, but all the great aromas that come off of the wine. Delicious, both whether in Bordeaux or New World. Could be California Cab, could be Merlot, what have you. This is also kind of the classic universal glass style. Next, you've got a port or sherry glass, great for Madeira as well. You're only going to do 1.5 ounce, 2 ounce pour, gives you plenty of chance to open up. Again, ports, sherries, Madeiras, fortified wines, a little higher in alcohol. This gives you a chance to kind of focus all the aromatics, even out here. You're giving space between you and the glass for the alcohol to come off, but really focusing in on all those aromas. Really a delicious way to enjoy after dinner drinks. This one's a tough glass. I never would have expected anybody to get this right? It just looks like a water glass, but this is really, really thin wall. And classically, if you were in the north of Spain doing tapas, you could have Cava. This would play well with Prosecco from Italy as well, but you would oftentimes have a wine called Chocolate, very, very acidic, usually bottled before it's done fermenting, so a little subtle effervescence, but super acidic, low in alcohol. So acidity kind of refreshes things, wakes everything up. Great to try small plates with, and being low in alcohol, you can drink quite a few of these with your tapas and not get too silly. Traditionally poured from way up high to aerate the wine, see the fizz kind of come up and then drop again. Kind of a fun glass. Obviously, great job with calling Burgundy. So this is great for red or white Burgundy, so Pinot Noir or Chardonnay. And it doesn't really matter where those two grapes come from. Could be California, could be Washington State, could be Willamette, Oregon. Doesn't really matter. Those are grapes that have some good texture and can have some great weight. So you got a nice big bulb for great surface area so that we can get more contact with oxygen. But then because those wines can also sometimes be a little delicate, you kind of focus everything back in so you can really get a true feel of everything that's happening in that glass. One of my favorite glasses. Classic old-fashioned glass. This is great for building obviously an old-fashioned, whether rye or bourbon or what have you. A great glass to do a Manhattan on the rocks, or just neat whiskey is acceptable, or just on the rocks. I like something that's got a little weight. It lets you know that we're having a drink after dinner, and it should be taken seriously. And then this is a great whiskey glass. If you're just doing things neat, enough for an ounce, ounce and a half, straight walls to kind of let some of the alcohol off as well, but then allows you to get your nose down in here and really, really get all the great character from specifically like an older aged whiskey. Could be 15-year-old bourbon, could be 15-year-old Scotch, could be something from Ireland like Redbreast 12. Neat out of this glass. You're going to be astounded by how much different things taste and smell out of a glass like this if you're drinking whiskey. Classic double Collins glass. This is an awfully big drink, but this I really, really love for, especially like a Bloody Mary. If you're doing pitches of Bloody Marys on a Sunday, you've got some folks mulling around. This glass lets us know it's serious. I also like to have, like I make Bloody Mary mix pretty thick. I tend to keep a lot of ice in the glass because it's going to melt and kind of thin that Bloody Mary mix out, which I kind of like. Personal preference, but a great glass. Of course, you got the classic champagne flute. Smaller aperture, keeps more of the effervescence and bubble in. Those who have sat through one of my wine tastings or spent any time talking to me appreciate that I tend to, for myself, enjoy champagne out of a white wine glass, just because I feel like there's enough kind of body and weight to have it open up a little bit more. Krista asked a great question, like, what about coupes? What about those old-fashioned little glasses for champagne? Those are great, especially at a party, because it's going to be a toast, like a one-and-done situation. And the benefit of that big opening is that the bubble goes away. So when you try to shoot champagne, if we've all been to a party or wedding where we got overzealous and we tried to treat it like a shot glass, and then you realize the bubbles kind of catch the back of your throat and kind of make you sneeze and cough at the same time, which no one will thank you for. But a great celebratory glass. Chris did a great job with the Syrah glass. This is called an Hermitage glass. Syrah can be as light as Pinot Noir or as heavy as Cabernet, depending on in what style it's made and from where. Nice solid base. Gives you plenty of surface area so things can open up and broaden. And then focus all the great aromatics back in. Could be Syrah, could be Grenache, could be Mourvedre, all those things that are at home in their own valley. But doesn't matter if this could be from California, Washington State. Make some great Syrah that out of this glass is kind of a game changer. And then easy to see how Krista could have mistaken these two glasses for one another, the Bordeaux and the Savignon Blanc. You hear Roscoe walking in, he's very excited about wine time. You can't falter, right? Sauvignon Blanc and Bordeaux. Sauvignon Blanc is the noble white grape of Bordeaux. So in the same kind of shape, right? You want to get some of the alcohol off. You want to give a big base to get all the aromatics. Really kind of fantastic. It doesn't really matter what you drink out of. Find something that works for you. But if you have some time on your hands, like maybe you do in the next couple weeks, get a glass of wine and try it out of the 2 or 3 different shapes you may have in your own home, right? I've done a couple tastings where I've done 6 wines or 6 glasses of wine, and people think they're all different wines, and it turns out I've just poured the same bottle of wine into 6 different shaped glasses, and people perceive them as being different. Amazing how much different things show on a different glassware. I hope you found this a little fun. I hope you'll experiment at home, and thanks for checking this video out.